Why Paraguay is set to become the richest country in South America. Located in the heart of South America, Paraguay is a country with a rich history and diverse cultural heritage. It borders Brazil to the east and north, Argentina to the west and south, and Bolivia to the northwest. Paraguay's history is one of struggles for independence and attempts to build a stable society. Although the country has a fascinating past, it is currently struggling with the challenges of poverty and social inequality. Paraguay's history. Paraguay gained independence in 1811 after years of struggle against Spanish colonial rule. However, its history has not been uniform. In the 1870s, the country was the theater of a Triple Alliance war that caused enormous human and material losses. The following decades were marked by political unrest, internal strife, and the search for stability. Poverty and challenges. Paraguay faces economic problems that contribute to poverty and social inequality. Although the country is endowed with natural resources such as fertile land and water, years of political and economic uncertainty have contributed to the limited use of these resources. Social inequality, lack of investment in infrastructure, and poor quality education are just some of the problems facing Paraguay. Question: how is it possible for such a poor country might become the richest in South America? Current changes in the world, with the shift from fossil fuels to green energy sources, are opening up huge opportunities for Paraguay. With its vast water resources, the country has the potential to become a key player in producing electricity in a green and sustainable way. Electricity, one of the world's most coveted commodities, is becoming an increasingly important part of the global economy. According to projections by US experts, global energy demand could increase by as much as 56% over the next 30 years. In this context, green energy sources such as hydropower are becoming increasingly important to meet this growing demand with minimal environmental impact. With its vast hydroelectric resources, Paraguay is well placed to play an important role in this global transition to sustainable energy. Today, almost 100% of the country's electricity comes from hydropower. One example is the huge Itaipu power station on the Parana River, which is jointly operated with Brazil. Its production is as high as 51.3 billion kWh, and around 90% of this energy is exported. This impressive production of hydroelectricity gives Paraguay a huge competitive advantage in the context of the global energy transition. As the world seeks to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and dependence on fossil fuels, the country can increase its commitment to renewable energy production while meeting its own energy needs and exporting the surplus to the international market. In conclusion, the current era of energy transition offers Paraguay a unique opportunity to harness its potential for greater prosperity. With its vast water resources and growing global demand for green energy, Paraguay can become a major player in renewable power generation. The key to success will be investment in energy infrastructure, development of green energy technologies, and international cooperation to effectively realize this potential. A good example of the importance of sustainable energy for the future is the current closure of markets in the European Union to products that are not produced using green energy. The European Union is committed to combating climate change and promoting sustainability by introducing strict emission and production standards. This, in turn, is shaping the direction of global trade relations, favoring products and services from countries that are committed to green energy production. In this context, Paraguay, with its almost exclusive use of hydroelectric power, has a huge advantage. Its ability to provide electricity without significant greenhouse gas emissions is a compelling argument for exporting to countries that are increasingly focused on sustainable production and consumption. River transport. Inland navigation, including river navigation, is an important aspect of Paraguay's economy with great potential for development. Rivers, such as Paraguay's, play a key role as trade routes, contributing to the emergence and development of urban centers and facilitating the exchange of goods within the country and internationally. Large urban centers often develop along major rivers because of the many advantages of inland transport. It is cheaper and more efficient than land transport, because it allows larger volumes of goods to be transported in one go, eliminating the need for reloading and the costs associated with this process. Rivers also make it possible to reach areas that would be difficult to access by road, encouraging economic development in smaller and more remote towns. The Paraguay River is a prime example of this phenomenon. It originates in Brazil and flows through the Pantanal Basin and the Gran Chaco lowlands, forming a natural border between countries such as Brazil, Paraguay, and Argentina. Its length of 2,200 kilometers and the size of its basin make it a convenient transport route. In Paraguay, where the Paraguay River flows through, inland navigation is of great economic importance. The long-standing need to transport goods in and out of the country has contributed to the development of ports and cities along the river. Paraguay is investing in the development of port infrastructure to boost trade and the exchange of goods. Promoting inland transport, especially on major waterways such as the Paraguay River, can increase the country's economic potential. Appropriate investment, modernization of port infrastructure, and development of the river fleet can contribute to the efficient use of this natural resource, which is crucial for economic growth. Demographic potential. Paraguay is emerging as a promising country in South America, and in many ways could become the richest country in the region in the coming decades. The country's demographics are one of the key drivers of this development. Since the 1960s, Paraguay's population has grown from just under 2 million to the current 7 million, indicating dynamic population growth. This population boom means greater demand for goods and services, creating favorable conditions for economic growth. Paraguay is a Spanish-speaking country, which provides an additional advantage in terms of integration with other Spanish-speaking countries in South America. Access to the markets of neighboring countries such as Argentina and Brazil opens the door to increased trade and cooperation. The common language and similar culture make it easier to establish business and investment links, which can attract capital and allow regional synergies to be exploited. But it is not only neighboring countries that are influencing Paraguay's growing population. The country is also attracting citizens from other countries, including European ones, who want to escape excessive bureaucracy and seek a favorable economic environment. As a proponent of free market economic policies, Paraguay offers an attractive environment for entrepreneurship and investment, attracting investors and those seeking new opportunities. The conclusions of the analysis of the situation in Paraguay lead to an optimistic picture of the country's future. With a rapidly growing population, a strategy of cooperation with neighboring countries, and a focus on green energy and the development of inland transport, Paraguay could indeed become the richest country in South America within a few decades. Paraguay's extraordinary energy potential, based on the use of water resources, is a key asset in the global context of climate change and the quest for sustainable energy production. Perhaps this aspect will contribute to the formation of new trade relations and international partnerships, helping Paraguay to strengthen its position on the international stage. In conclusion, Paraguay has a unique opportunity to turn its potential into prosperity. A commitment to green energy development, regional cooperation, investment in land transport, and openness to innovation could allow Paraguay to become a regional leader within a few decades. Of course, all this will require long-term commitment, wise political decisions, and proper planning. But the prospect of becoming the Swiss economy of South America seems realistic and inspiring.